Hello again, YouTube. I wanted to show the process of making this 2D/3D scene from Among Us. This was all designed by me and Scribblenauts Unlimited, and you can use the end screen once the video is done with, or the description and whatnot to find the link for that video where we made the crewmates in Scribblenauts. And I'm now going to show several clips of the various processes that led to the creation of this 3D photocube diorama. Enjoy! As foolish as this may sound, getting every single thing to print at exactly the size that I wanted it to, and then to fit all together properly, actually did cause me a bit of grief. It sounds so simple, and I set it up to print correctly, I thought, at least, within Photoshop, but sometimes they just didn't translate to exactly the size that I needed. I also wanted to tell you guys that I used the stock marketing box, you could call it, that came within the photocube when I bought it. They just kind of come with a standard, almost cardboard box inside that advertises the product or whatever, but we're using that as the basis for our entire setting. Our background, floor, some of the foreground and sides. You know, it all went over the portion of that cardboardish cube that was inside the photocube once I used an X-Acto to cut out the proportions that I needed. It was really a bit tricky to find the exact way to do all this, but I absolutely believe in the end product. Something I should mention that makes all of this extremely hard for me, which is a real shame because I actually really like crafts and building like this, but it's my pain. My audience knows this, but those from the outside should know that since 2013 I've been dealing with chronic pain and fatigue that only gets worse year after year. It was all seemingly brought on after my mom died that year from breast cancer, but also some other stressful traumas and life events as time went on, then the stress of carrying on a full-time job and bringing a YouTube channel to 200,000 subscribers, 65 million video views, and then watching it just slowly die after all that time and hard work, only to then make a new YouTube channel and build that up past 10,000 subs, millions of views and all that, and this happening all while holding down a job outside of that and having a kid in 2017. Some of this stuff is amazing, I know, but the point is, working yourself down to the bone has consequences, and I definitely burned out early, but just kept working anyway. It's led to a lot of shakiness in the hands, a lot of trouble doing very precise movements or steps within the process of making this photocube scene. Really, I think I would have a great life, but the pain and the discomfort, it takes away at least half of my joy every day when I wake up, sadly. I'm sorry to veer off on that track, of course. Let's just keep taking a look at the photocube creation. So it was essentially my hope and my idea that 3 crewmates would be around where the lights are in Among Us, but here on our Scribblenauts diorama, and we cross over the 2 games with our art project, because they'd have question marks above their heads like in Scribblenauts, but there'd be a murder going on in the background. It's kind of like they're deliberating maybe, trying to figure it out. And for those who are actually trying to figure it out at this point, the black color crewmate right here is killing the yellow color by the neck-breaking twist animation. So we had a chicken finger from Scribblenauts for the hand in the back, glued onto the backside of the yellow crewmate, then just a regular hand painted black for the front side. I had initially thought we'd take the fire that you probably saw in some of those scenes and place that fire behind the murder scene, but it would have obscured the vent, the boxes, the picture on the wall, and some wires maybe, I don't know. It ended up actually being better without it, I would say, but that long fire trail would have been to emulate the red and white background graphic whenever you're playing Among Us and a murder goes down, that sort of thing. Alright, so the finished product here was very close to what I imagined, which just made me so happy. Some really cool things to note, at least I hope you think they're interesting, is that many of the wires are not just glued down flat onto the ground. They're lifted up either in the middle or from the end. You know, you can see some shadow to them. We obviously have a 3D effect on the light box and the boxes in the background, but notice of course the vent was placed down with a piece of tape folded over on itself, just to kind of give it that 3D depth maybe, and the same with the picture on the wall. The question mark emotions above the red and orange crewmate were applied with tape, but then I just kind of meticulously cut around where their heads are and tried to make as much of that as possible not showing. And other than that, you know, please admire the scene a little bit more. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Feel free to click an end screen on screen to see the Scribblenauts creation of the crewmates or otherwise, and thanks for viewing.